This is how you turn your pain into power. It's all about learning, because pain is our most powerful teacher. When you realize that pain is a tool for learning on a spiritual level, using the material world, your life transforms. I want you to let go and just listen. Don't click off. Just listen for a little bit and see what happens, okay? It's all about the hero's journey. And this is what I mean. Every movie you've ever seen, for the most part, with exceptions, involves the hero's journey, the story, the classic tale. You have a main character, they're in a certain state, something bad happens, a problem happens, pain, suffering is inflicted. They have to figure out how to solve this pain, this suffering, this problem, and they come out on the other side better, stronger, wiser. You get the point, okay? The reason why we resonate with that hero's journey is because we're all going through our own version of that. No matter how boring or mundane our life is, that could be the pain. That could be the problem that needs to be solved. A boring, mundane, tedious life. You see that in movies too. There's always a central problem that needs to be solved. We're in this situation, we're in our comfort zone, our equilibrium. Something happens or has been happening that makes us uncomfortable, which forces us outside of our comfort zone, outside of the status quo. We learn some lessons to evolve, and we are in a new position or new place in the beginning. Unless the character didn't learn the lessons and didn't grow, and they end up in the same situation again at the end of the movie. I can't think of any movie off the top of my head that relates to that, but I'm sure that maybe some of you can. So the way you need to think about this is how you really transform your pain into power and purpose. You transcend the material suffering through your intellect and awareness, is realizing that Earth is a soul school. This concept is best exemplified by the movie Soul, the Pixar movie. Recommend watching it. Movie Soul, Pixar. Watch it. If you want to understand this concept deeper, they do an amazing job. We are here on Earth in this material, three-dimensional space to go through certain trials and tribulations, to learn certain lessons, to evolve as spiritual beings. This is why we are incarnating here. And so then this reframes, okay, why am I going through this pain, this suffering? Because it's going to teach you lessons you need to evolve, designed by your higher self, or God, or Allah, or Vishnu, or whoever you want to place in that role. To me, it's all the same thing, okay? Great Spirit. So you need to start perceiving your losses as lessons. Again, always going back to learning. You're on the hero's journey. You're being tested on Earth. Causes pain through loss, grief, suffering, anger, physical, emotional, spiritual pain, suffering, the dark night of the soul. I don't know you, but you're here for a reason. You've clicked on the video for a reason, right? You need to start looking at the losses, the L's, the pain as tools to teach you, teaching tools. Pain is the most powerful teacher, as I said before, and that is why we go through it. Because without pain, without suffering, we would stay the same. We would stay stagnant. Nobody wants to evolve out of something that is comfortable. So when we feel negative emotions, when we feel pain and suffering, that is our higher self, our emotional body, telling us that we need to move, we need to change something. And when we're feeling positive emotions, that means we need to continue doing what we've been doing. Really simple. Elementary, okay? Now, if the point hasn't been driven home enough of why pain? It still seems unfair. It still seems not right to make pain something to teach us. Well, let's use this example. There's a fire. There's a hand. I know he looks like Hamburger Helper. It's the best I could do. This is the hand getting close to the fire. Now, if you could not feel pain, that would be bad, because you would put your hand in the fire and it would deteriorate your hand. And maybe your entire body will catch on fire, depending on what clothes you're wearing. But because of the pain, you learn, hey, don't do that. Unfortunately, when it's not so overt, we keep putting our hand in the fire. Getting into the same toxic relationships, eating the same bad foods, making the same mistakes, doing the same drugs, hanging out with the wrong people, breaking the same rules that put us in this vicious cycle where we keep burning our hand, essentially. And so, unfortunately, in the soul school of Earth, if you don't learn the lesson the first time, you're gonna have to learn it again. And a lot of times, to get your attention, your higher self will make it more painful with each time you do it. So you turn your pain, your past suffering, even your current pain and suffering, into purpose, into power, by learning the lessons it is trying to teach you. That simple. Here's an amazing quote from Khalil Gibran, author of The Prophet, a book I recommend. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls, the most massive characters are seared with scars. If you want to be great, you want to be known, you have to overcome something. The Gandhis, the Martin Luther Kings, the Mandelas, Mother Teresa's, Jesus. This ability to overcome suffering, overcome pain, the heroes that we admire, fake or fiction or fact, the people we look up to, even though we shouldn't. Watch my last video if you want to know why. But generally, the people that people look up to, entities, are those that overcome insurmountable odds or problems and solve them. You have to do the same. If you want to grow and you want to be a person of power, the universe, your higher self, God, the soul school curriculum is giving you an opportunity to learn about yourself and grow every time you go through suffering, every time you go through pain. There is something to learn, and you have to look inside of yourself to find it. And you can't find it out there. You can't find it over here. Find it in there. Okay? That's where you find it. Inside yourself. Now, if you want a step-by-step guide on how to do this, to see the underlying messages that are being gifted to you from Earth, higher self, God, whatever, I have a step-by-step guide called the Transformation Guide. You can get the link down in the description that gives you a step-by-step process looking inside of yourself to understand what lessons you need to learn in this incarnation to break the cycle and move forward and evolve into the best version of yourself. Thank you for your time. Cheers.